You know, carrots are good for your eyes, but when it hits your complexion, I don't know.
Crankcase is not a very likable dude, and it seems he's not a fan of everyone else. It seems not many can relate to what he's going through as he sits there complaining, unless he's using his weapons to mow down Autobots. As miserable as that sounds, it's been a hot minute since we got a Generation-style Crankcase, if you count that first movie redeco of Cybertron Red Alert. So with Generation's legacy, they brought back the sour trigger con. Crankcase transforms into a car that kinda looks like it has the body of a Scion with the features of a Jeep. I don't mind it, the pitch black with blue gives it a midnight drive vibe, though I'm confused why some of the panels are like a soft black and some panels are like a shiny black. I'm already bothered by the tab in the panel that has a hard time locking in, but the inconsistent black shade confuses me, especially considering that's usually an issue for super bright yellow figures. I will admit I do like the blue and metallic color behind the logo. It seems to roll fine, I like the boxy clean shape, and the spare wheel is a nice touch. As for the weapons, without the grill I guess it can work, but then you lose out on the painted headlights and molded in cable with the hook. It completes the shape. As for the clear gun, just slap it anywhere, or hear me out, wheel gun. The vehicle has the same energy as animated Soundwave, and I like that. It just needed the black to be consistent and the panels to snap in better. Aside from that, it does a fair job. Robot mode. This is where it becomes obvious that this thing is reusing some of the framework and parts from the Legacy Skids figure. The way the legs transform, the thighs, the peg holes in front of the arms, and the fact that he can back that keister up. But there's plenty of new things too. The chest, the design of the shoulders, backpack, and head are most notable. I do like the continued colors, the different tones of black isn't super obvious, and I think it's well broken up. I like the chest with the silver and blue, but his shape is more stylized, like he's supposed to be in Cyberverse. Yes, there's a big panel hanging off the head, which I usually don't mind since it's used in alt mode, but it's a tad too tall. Otherwise, it seems good enough, especially when the orange just screams at you. Did someone say articulation? All jointed head, shoulders out and in, forward and back rotation, rotation again, elbow bend, wrist rotation, waist rotation, hips out and in, forward and back rotation, below knee bend and foot tilt. It looks okay, but there's a few issues. The legs and arms are somewhat loose, and sometimes if you move the shoulder, if you're not holding it in place, the chest will just swing up. Let's take a look at the accessories. Starting inside the back, there's two smaller guns that flip out in reference to the original toy. Cool, but they're not blast compatible. Besides that, he has Skid's gun in a smoky transparency, and the grill forms a much larger weapon. Just flip out the blast ports and that's it. Honestly, I wish there was more going on to make it less obvious, but you can plug it back on the chest. There's portholes in the feet, back of the legs, hands, arms, shoulders, and back. And check it, with the chest, you can do the Warpath thing. Crankcase is sort of a mixed bag. He's not really the best figure out there, with loose joints and questionable design choices. I like some of the ideas for sure, but I think it needed another look, especially to hold the torso in place. I think if you really want a Crankcase figure and can deal with the issues, then fine. They're not the most irritating thing, it's just stuff that really stops it from being a pretty cool lad. Not the worst, but should have been better designed. Orange, you glad? Well, I guess not.